Hi and welcome to my second sketchbook tour. In this sketchbook you'll only find pencil portraits. It was kind of a challenge I made for myself to fill a whole sketchbook with just portraits in about a month. It ended up taking a bit longer than a month, but I'm still fine with this. So I started this sketchbook in end of May and ended at end of July. Oh yeah, and before we start, if you can't stand sketchbook tours with talking, you can head over to my Instagram. I'll also post an IGTV with just a flip through without any kind of talking. So this is my very first sketch. I also didn't skip pages, so every portrait you will see in here is in like the exact same order you also see. I also thought if I fill this sketchbook in page after page, you can maybe tell at the end if there is any improvement. And I also have two favorite portraits in here, and this one here is one of them. I really like the contrast between the dark background and the face. Because I never draw any side profiles, I thought it would be a good idea to practice that and make this one here. So here I wanted to draw completely without any kind of reference. So I made everything up for this one here. And I made a YouTube video of the drawing process of this one here on the right. In that video I also talk about why I started this sketchbook, so if you're interested, check it out. The reference for the left one was an old painting I found on Pinterest. I also think she looks a bit exhausted and tired, but yeah, I still like the vibe she's giving. So a while ago I made these kind of creatures up and posted them on my Instagram. You can also see them in my other sketchbook tour. I remember being very tired the day I was drawing this one here, and after I drew the face I completely lost my motivation to draw the hair, so I just left it like this. Here I'm really not so happy with her expression, and yeah, here I added watercolor, but you can't really work with watercolor in this sketchbook. It just doesn't work. But since the sketchbook was really affordable, you can use it very well for your pencil practices. Here I just drew the head, and I also really like how the girl on the right turned out. Here you can see I started to draw the hair a bit different than my previous ones. Like here you can like already tell a difference between this one and yeah, the hair here. And after that I continued drawing the hair like this because it was much more fun to draw it like this. The background here is in gouache, and then I also added some tiny lines on top with just my regular mechanical pencil. The one with gouache really looks better than the watercolor one. Here I had enough of drawing pretty girls, so I decided this spread to be just some ugly male creatures. I don't know if you really can say that they're ugly, they're just not pretty girls. These two are also references from the 100 Heads challenge. Next we have the first actual male portrait in here. And here on the right side there's just something I made up. Really not proud of this one. I thought it would look interesting with this shadow on his face, but yeah, it doesn't really. And yeah, on the right, another girl portrait. Here is the first and the only portrait in the sketchbook where I drew a hand. I'm usually not very practiced with drawing hands, and I always want to practice more hands, but then I just do something else and forget about that. Oh yeah, and yeah, this one is a really sad one. I remember that I really wasn't in the mood to draw, but then I forced myself to do it and this one came out. But I really like how the girl on the right turned out. I really like her nose. And this here is a spread I made also a video of. If you're interested in the process of these two, I'll link it down below. This girl here somehow reminds me of Rihanna, although I didn't use her as the reference. On the left you can see a girl with a third eye. Here you can see some more girls. So remember when I said that I have two favorite portraits in the sketchbook here? So this is the second one. And yeah, on the right you can see another guy. And now we're already at the last portrait. I don't know if you remember the very first portrait in here, but this one is a redrawing of the first one. So yeah, it's the very first drawing in here, and then I just redraw the very first on my last page. So that's it for this tiny pencil portrait sketchbook. I would love to hear what you think, and maybe you have a favorite drawing, so you can tell me which one it is. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and if you liked it, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye!